welcome to my channel. I'm Elma. Thank you so much for joining me for this video. You've seen it from the title. Today I'm going to be sharing with you what not to watch on Netflix. If you've been on my channel already, you know that I have one or two videos recommending what I enjoyed watching on Netflix. I'll drop that in the description. But this is not that. This is my way of rebelling, okay, against all these streaming sites, because yes, we are giving a plethora of options, but it's like, can you stop with the streaming sites? Like, come on. Thank God that I have like a little collective where it's like someone pays, I paid, you know, everybody's sharing an account somewhere, and if you're not, you should share. Sharing is caring, okay? Because like these sites, okay, they're coming for our coins, and plus not everything is worth it. So I'm here to share with you what all that is, okay? So, you know, grab yourself a little drink. I'm in a mood to roast, so let's get into it.
I gotta tell you something I could do.
I feel that it is very important that I disclaim this, okay? Because like sometimes the internet is hella sensitive. So this is for the sensitive souls out there. Listen, if you liked one of these shows, or you know, whatever it is that I'm gonna be talking about, that's great for you. Maybe I missed the mark, maybe it wasn't meant for me, that's cool. But at the end of the day, it's my own personal opinion, okay? And you click through because you wanted to hear about it, right? So that's one. Two, I'm most probably gonna spoil one or two of these shows for you, so warning. If you haven't watched it and you feel like watching, skip. I said what I said. You cannot say you weren't warned. This movie is what prompted me to do this video, and it's called Ava, and it's with Jessica Chastain, Colin Farrell, John Malkovich, Common. It has a nice array of really talented actors, and so basically it's about this rogue assassin who's really good at killing people. She's done a lot of amazing jobs, but one job goes wrong and then her organization turns against her for some reason. This movie made no sense whatsoever, and it's giving you fake depth. Oh yay, it's a female lead instead of a male. Honestly, you would have put a male in this role, it would have given you exactly the same thing. And I don't get it. I'm so down for women getting roles that are more challenging, more masculine, but however, like, can you please add some depth in there? Giving these women these cisgender heterosexual roles with no added anything. It just feels like, oh, look at us, we're a company who have a movie with a female lead and her love interest is black and tick tick tick, and you're just there like, well, what's the story though? It made no sense. Plus, if you watch the trailer, it's just gonna give you the whole idea of what the movie is, so that too was not helpful at all. And I know that this description is really shit and I'm really bad at describing things, but I watched this so long ago, I did not feel like rewatching it for the sake of this video. And there's another movie along the same lines of this that I'm gonna be talking about later on, but yeah, Ava, skip. The next show I'm gonna be talking about is called $1 Million Beach House. It's a reality TV show, and I want to say it came on the heels of Selling Sunset, so I expected it to be that kind of, you know, lighthearted, low-key drama, you know, ooh, look at these people selling big ass mansions in the Hamptons or whatever, you know. I'm like, okay, it's gonna be amazing. Let's see the decor. Let me get ideas for what I'm gonna build in my Sims games. Yes, I went in with, you know, with that in mind. However, this show was so horrible. All the characters, except maybe Noel, he's surrounded by racist folks. Let's just say it as is. Like that 1% douche boy, frat boy. I only know how to talk about one thing and no dimension whatsoever, and attacking and subliminals. And I watched the show till the end because I don't like to leave shows unfinished. It's a sort of show when you finish watching it, you don't feel happy. You just feel sad. You're just disgusted by the world. They're just horrible people. It's not a nice show at all. The interior decorator, I don't know what it was, her issue. It was very naggy. You know, sometimes you watch those shows for like guilty pleasure and you're like, ooh, let me just see what's going on. But this one, no, you left it completely soiled. I know it's extreme what I'm saying, but truly don't watch it. Okay, along the same lines of Ava, you have Peppermint, which is with Jennifer Gardner. Again, one of the stories where this regular mom is living her regular life and one day her family gets killed by a passing mob or some shit like that, and she goes on a revenge, and you're just like, oh yay, amazing, female role, lead, she's gonna kick some ass. But I feel like it's a freaking trend. These roles, no depth to them, not an ounce of like backstory, unnecessary flashbacks, action scenes caught to the gods. I'm like, can you just give her a stunt double so we can have like a flowy scene of action, fighting, kick-assness? All this choppiness really isn't necessary, and then like no proper explanation to anything. I'm gonna need these companies that if you're gonna make shows where we have strong female leads, one, can we have like maybe directors who are females who can write, or writers who are women who can write these roles for these women? Also, another thing about Peppermint is like I'm sorry, but Jennifer Gardner is really not believable as this badass kick-ass woman. I'm sorry, she gives me like really sweet mommy. Like, I was not convinced by her performance whatsoever, like not even a little bit. Like, she was angry and I was like, do you need a Pepto-Bismol? It was bad. And you know that Jennifer Gardner, she's like a veteran in these streets, but like roles like this are not meant for her. Like, I feel like it's not everything you're meant to be good at, and it's okay, but this Peppermint thing was not for her. Jessica Chastain, she was believable, but the script was shit. Simple and short. The next one. This one is the comedy special from Kevin Hart and is Zero Fucks Given. Listen, we watched that with Bae, and honestly at the end of it I felt like I had just been schooled for having an opinion about his stupid behavior. I get the whole thing with him being stopped from hosting, was it the Grammys or the Oscars? I don't remember what it was that he was supposed to host. But you know, like the homophobic tweets came out. He angry apologized about it. And after he did this whole special interview style following him around, seeing what his life is about reality thing, that on its own was a mess because, you know, there was a whole like agitation thing that happened with his woman and the whole fight thing. Was it his trainer that he cussed him out and he, you know, went all, you ain't shit, I got all the money, and you know, really foul. And from what I get, the internet roasted him for that. Loved him in Jumanji though. And then he decided to come out with this comedy special in full quarantine from his home called Zero Fucks Given. Listen, this was not necessary. I feel like this was a draft to probably a future show or something, because like all the jokes fell flat. It's like he was doing this either because he was like contracted to do it, but like it really felt like he was doing this comedy show out of resentment. He just felt really bitter, so complaining, not taking any accountability for his actions whatsoever, in my opinion. If you want to come out from watching a comedy show frustrated, that's the one to watch, because the jokes were not even funny, kind of repetitive. You could tell that his jokes had not been vouched for in like comedy clubs, because like I know a little bit about this because like my boyfriend's uncle, like he writes, you know, for comedians, and you write a couple of jokes with you as a comedian, your writers, whatever, and then you basically, you know, you go in bars to scout your jokes, see what works, see what doesn't work. And clearly this was done during COVID and nobody scouted this, and he was probably surrounded by yes men because clearly that's what he craves. Don't come for me, allegedly. Anyway, and you could tell it was just a bitter show. It was so bitter. I was just like, oof, this is bad. Zero Fucks Giving, proper title, pass. pass completely. But definitely not least, A Fall from Grace from Tyler Perry. The way Netflix hyped up this movie, was it in the beginning of last year that this came out? Everybody was talking about it. It's like, ooh, A Fall from Grace is amazing. I think the last Tyler Perry movie I somewhat enjoyed was like Tyler Perry's Temptations. Was it that? Diaries of a Marriage Counselor, something along those lines. But ever since then, I've really seen a decline because I'm really happy for Tyler Perry and what he's achieved in this world where it's hard to be a black man and to own and to produce and to help the community like to the level he's made it. And I think that that on its own is freaking amazing, okay? However, Tyler Perry is gonna need to get some himself other people to write as well, to input, because especially where he's always having his leads be female and he's the writer and they're always this one dimension of very stereotypical black woman. Oh god. Of course Tyler Perry was a freaking lawyer in that movie again. His achievements aside, you can tell that this man is very conceited. The story has no heads or tails. You don't understand how this woman was her best friend but was sleeping with her man and made it okay and then turns around like... Honestly, Tyler Perry is working overtime on this writing, and I feel like if he had other writers, female writers, there would be more dimension in his characters, because honestly speaking, this was horrible. The woman is wrong, she turns violent. Is this new? Is it not giving you, what's that one way, Taraji P, like... Anyway, those were the movies that I highly recommend you do not watch on Netflix, except if you're bored and you just want like sound in the background. But apart from that, honestly, it's really not worth your time. And I want to know in the comments below some of the shows or movies that you've watched on Netflix that you're like, girl, don't watch that. So if you enjoyed this video, please give me a thumbs up. If you want to see more from me, make sure you subscribe, you hit that notification bell, and yeah, some videos have just popped up on the screen. Make sure you check them out if you haven't already, and I will see you next time. Bye.